been touring around the state with the CLE program, John Dean and the Ultimate Lawyer's Ethical Dilemma. Why now?
I love the title. I'd never heard the full title before. Why now? We're approaching the 40th anniversary of Watergate. My partner and I in this, Jim Robinald of Thompson Hine, old friend, thought the 40th anniversary an appropriate occasion. The 40th anniversary is really a rolling anniversary. June 17th of 2012 is the 40th anniversary of the Watergate break-in. August 8th, 9th of 2014 is the 40th anniversary of Nixon's resignation. So it's really a long 2-year rolling period, and we really plan to test it this year. The Ohio bar turned out to be a real find. Both of us being from Ohio, my roots are in Ohio, I live in California now, and we just watched the Ohio bar develop this program so well and so nicely that we said these are wonderful people to do business with. So when Fran suggested a 5-city tour, we said we're on, and we hope to do more with the bar.
What is your main point that you want people to take away from these sessions?
Well, we're taking a very controversial piece of history, the Watergate break-in, arrest, cover-ups, what have you, well known by certainly anybody over probably 50 or over remembers those events very well. The younger generation not so well. We're trying to interest them in that period because of the lessons that could be learned from it. And the other irony is, as we approach the 40th anniversary, there were a lot of reforms post-Watergate. The only reforms that lasted are those of the bar, the organized bar. And so we're taking that history, and the message we're trying to give from it is, if you look at what happened today with the current rules and look at that history, you can draw some very interesting lessons, including the fact this history would have been very different had those rules of ethics that now apply for all lawyers, all Ohio lawyers, and many states have adopted the model code, lawyers everywhere, they really would change history.
What type of reaction are you getting from folks who are sitting in on the session?
So far, we have had something that's apparently very unusual for CLEs. We're getting rave reviews, and it's different. It's unusual. It's not like the normal CLE. People are actually finding it entertaining. In some venues we've gone to, not in Ohio because of the restrictions at the bar, people are bringing their wives to the event who are not lawyers, but they find it as interesting as the lawyers do.
You mentioned that if the ethics rules that are in place now had been in place 40 years ago, things would have been a lot different. Would there still have been Watergate, first of all, I suspect?
Well, there was a lot of stupidity about Watergate, too. That's something the rules of ethics don't address. They do in a broad sense, and they say that competence is a primary requirement, but people still do stupid things. But I think, yes, it would have changed dramatically. It wouldn't have been as we know it today had those rules been in place.
What would you have done differently?
Oh, very different. My antenna would have been quivering much earlier. I would have had a whole different set of leverage conditions with those who were my superiors. I could have used those. You don't want to create with the rules of evidence whistleblowers, but you want to give lawyers some leverage where they can make people do the right thing when it's quite conspicuous they're not. And that's what these rules do and empower people to do.
How can today's lawyer walk the still very tight ethical tightrope between client confidentiality and obstructing justice?
Well, client confidentiality and obstructing of justice is really not a tight rope at all. When you cross the line and obstruct justice, you are on the other side of the rules of evidence, or excuse me, the rules of law, the criminal code, and there is no protection. What I think you're suggesting is how can you walk the fine line between confidentiality of protecting your client and not somehow enhancing a crime or letting criminal conduct take place. You really can't. The code has never protected that kind of conduct. The rules of professional conduct have never protected criminal behavior. So what it is when you see it coming, or you're being taken advantage of by a lawyer, or if you can prevent it, you now have new tools with the rules as they are now written that you didn't have before. You can stop them before they happen. If you walk in the middle of an obstruction of justice and it's ongoing, you can actually end it and prevent it, assuming you want to.